Focused and fearless. Here's everything you need to know this rush hour of January 28th, Tuesday. I'm Riza Diaz. Jump-starting today's rush with iterations from the Health Department that no case of the novel coronavirus in the Philippines has been confirmed. However, the DOH notes almost a dozen individuals are under investigation for nCoV. Maricel Halili has the report.
11 foreigners are now classified as PUIs, or patients under investigation for the novel coronavirus, or nCoV. The Health Department says all of them showed symptoms and have traveled to Wuhan, China, the ground zero of the health crisis. The DOH can only pinpoint their general location in western, central, and eastern Visayas, northern Mindanao, Mimaropa, and Metro Manila. But the Health Secretary clarifies there are no confirmed nCoV cases yet in the country.
There shouldn't be any cause for alarm just because we flushed the areas where the PUIs come from. Doesn't mean that those areas are infected with the novel coronavirus.
Their specimens had been sent to the Research Institute for Tropical Medicine, or RITM, for evaluation. Positive samples will be sent to Melbourne, Australia for confirmation.
While that is happening, the patient will not be allowed to go home. They will be staying in isolation rooms in the hospitals.
The DOH has put in place surveillance procedures to prevent nCoV from entering the country, including tight monitoring on people with direct contact to nCoV patients or health workers in facilities with nCoV patients. But some Metro Manila residents are still concerned.
Kasi ang dami kong apoy. Kaya medyo hindi ko masyadong pinapalabas.
Nagpabili ako ng mask sa anak ko kasi medyo mahina yung immune system niya, kaya yun, nagmamas sila.
Duque is calling on the public to refrain from spreading rumors about the virus and take precautionary measures instead.
Never eat raw meat. Okay? Maraming pwedeng sakit pong ibigay yan sa atin. Yung mga kilawin, tigil na muna natin yung mga yan. Kilawin, mga kilawin. Kasi maraming mikrobyo din yung mga yan. Iinom kayo ng tubig, ha? You guys, especially when you're working in closed spaces.
He also reminds the public to cover their mouth while coughing or sneezing and to wash their hands often. For News 5, Maricel Halili, we are One News.
Airlines everywhere are feeling the pinch of the novel coronavirus outbreak. Passengers are either rebooking or canceling flights, while some nations have completely suspended flights to Wuhan or Hubei, China. Gerald de la Peña has the story.
Justin and her family spent nearly 3 hours in China's Guangzhou airport for their connecting flight from Los Angeles going back to Manila. She says the airport was almost empty due to the 2019 novel coronavirus scare. Rebooking would have been an option, but that won't come cheap.
We tried to cancel, we tried to move to Philippine Airlines, but with our limited budget, just like most of the people, we still just had to push through it and trust God that we'd be safe.
Passengers from the Middle East and South Korea arrived at the NAIA wearing face masks.
Para safety for myself. Para malayo sa virus.
Parang natatakot din. Kaya kayo nagmask na. Opo, for the safety na lang.
Airline companies are already feeling the pinch. Passengers either cancel or postpone their trips.
70 to 80% of the passengers are not showing up. Or at least at the booking stage pa lang, wala nang mga pasahero.
The Philippine government has suspended all direct flights from Wuhan. The Chinese government, meanwhile, has called off all group tours from China to curb the spread of the virus, which might make a dent on tourism given that China is the country's second largest source of tourists.
Double-edged siyang airline because it is a tool of economic activity. It is the backbone of trade and tourism, investments, pero yun din, it can be a vector of an epidemic.
The Civil Aeronautics Board is asking carriers to waive the cancellation and rebooking fees for passengers and treat the situation as force majeure or unforeseeable circumstance. Airline companies have also made a commitment to provide masks to passengers and provide any assistance that they may require. For News 5, Gerard de la Peña, We Are One News.
Here are other updates on the novel coronavirus from around the world, starting off with Ground Zero. In China, death toll from the novel coronavirus has climbed to 81 as authorities note the relatively fast spread of the virus. China's health ministry says that unlike SARS, the nCoV can spread even during 1 to 14-day incubation period. Confirmed cases of the novel coronavirus have been reported in other Asian countries as well as in the United States, France, and Canada. Now, just to reiterate, all casualties are currently recorded only within China. Now, over in the United States, the American government is urging its citizens to reconsider traveling to China. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has issued a warning level 3 alert for Hubei province after Chinese authorities imposed a lockdown in Wuhan and nearby areas to stop the further spread of the novel coronavirus in the country. It has also reminded its citizens that China has the authority to prohibit Americans from leaving its country and at the same time does not recognize dual nationality. But Hong Kong is imposing stricter regulations in its bid to contain the spread of nCoV. Residents from China's Hubei province are now banned from entering Hong Kong. Not only that, anyone who had visited Hubei, China in the past 14 days will also be denied entry to the territory. The nearby gambling hub of Macau likewise imposed a similar ban unless the tourists can sufficiently prove that they are virus-free. Other affected countries, including Australia, France, Italy, Japan, and US, have all said that they are working to evacuate their citizens from Ground Zero. The World Health Organization is also taking more decisive steps, like sending its chief to Beijing to meet with government officials. But the WHO is still holding back from escalating the outbreak to a global health emergency. Now, back here in the home front, classes remain suspended in some Chinese schools in the metro. These include Uno High School, the main and annex campuses of the Philippine Cultural College, St. Stephen High School, both campuses of the Chiang Kai-shek College, St. Jude Catholic School, and Xiong Se Academy. Now, both the Education and the Health Department has previously claimed that this was not a part of the guidelines against the disease and was only a decision solely made by the schools. Education Secretary Leonor Briones also reminded them that makeup classes must be made in order to maintain the required number of school days per academic year. And here are the biggest stories from the dailies. The Freeman reports that 2 new cases of possible nCoV are being monitored in Cebu. This comes just days after the 5-year-old boy from China was cleared off the virus and discharged from a hospital in Cebu. Now, the 2 cases are part of the total 11 patients under investigation. The health agency is watching closely. Now, according to a DOH report, the 2 adult patients quarantined in separate hospitals in Cebu are ages 18 and 61 years old and are both females. Malacanang insists President Duterte's decision to scrap its visiting forces agreement with America was not made on a whim. This after critics slammed the administration for supposedly choosing to terminate the VFA after former PNP chief and now Senator Bato de la Rosa's U.S. visa got canceled. Now, aside from cancellation of de la Rosa's visa, Panelo cited 3 more reasons why Duterte wants to end the agreement with America. The Philippine Star reports that these include the demand of some senators to release detained Senator Laila de Lima, the resolution condemning the alleged human rights violation in the Philippines, and the introduction of the U.S. budget provision that bars officials responsible for de Lima's detention. This one from Pangmasa. Over 50,000 evacuees in Batangas have been able to return home following weeks of unrest at the Taal volcano. This is after Volks downgraded the status in Taal Alert Level 3, prompting lifting of lockdown policies in 12 municipalities except in the towns of Agoncillo and Laurel. However, the agency advises affected residents to remain vigilant since the threat of an eruption is not entirely gone. And just as residents of Batangas are slowly easing back to their normal lives, DTI flagged several stores in Batangas City after being caught selling overpriced goods. Martin Alcaide reports.
The Trade Department and Congressman Wes Gatchalian inspected markets and supermarkets in Batangas City on Monday to ensure that no business will take advantage of the situation caused by Taal's unrest. During the rounds, they noticed that some groceries do follow the suggested retail price of basic goods. That's except for bottled water, which is now priced at 5 pesos above SRP, being a commodity currently in high demand.
Nagulat tayo ngayon sa bottled water. Siguro nga sa dami nung sabi ni Kong, yung siguro sa dami rin ng bumibili ngayon, medyo nagtaasin siguro sila doon. Hindi nila inano pero hindi nila sinun yung SRP.
Yung nakita nga po na violation ng stores, I'll make sure po na as of ngayong araw matatapos po lahat ng concern para po masettle natin para tomorrow mas maaga pong maayos natin yung mga nakita ni na sir.
So in short, i-adjust nyo
i-adjust naman po agad.
The DTI also noted the high price of chicken in the wet market.
Ang presyo kasi ngayon sa farm gate, mga 80 pesos. So dapat yan mga 130. Mataas na yung 140. Pero kanina 170. So sinasuggest na lang natin sa DA dahil naobserbahan na rin natin ito nung mga nakaraang linggo, maglagay na lang sila ng SRP para sundin na lang nung mamimili.
While prices of pork remain the same, even if a lot of people are buying pork donate to evacuees.
Binibigyan namin po ng discount para po kawawa naman po yung mga evacuees.
Meanwhile, DTI discovered that some appliances being sold in some stores have wrong or no ICC stickers.
Electric blender, so hindi rice cooker. Ang produkto, electric blenders. So hindi po blender yan, pati yung brand, pati yung model type lumalabas. Pakita mo yung... So, naka-specify naman doon. Kaya, hindi para doon din yon. Kahit sinasabi nilang sila raw magdidikit. Kasi dapat ang rule ito, ididikit sa manufacturer. Sa manufacturer pa lang, nakadikit na yung mga standard stickers natin.
So, newly concessionaire lang po namin ito ngayon. So, kadideliver nila actually. Kasi kami naman po ay may kontrata niyan. Kaya po nang kinausap ko po yung may-ari kanina, sila po yung may kasalanan.
DTI had issued show cause order to 2 different stores and a supermarket who violated their policies. The business owners were given 48 hours to answer. The department also reminded all stores that the price freeze remains in Batangas since it is still under a state of calamity. For News 5, Marlene Alcaide, we are One News.
It was music's biggest night, and the youngest in the crowd made quite a sweep. 18-year-old pop phenomenon Billie Eilish came home with not just 1 but 5 golden gramophones under her name. Out of the 5, the Bad Guy singer bagged 4 major ones, including Best Album, Record Song, and New Artist of the Year. Now, this makes her the youngest artist born in the 2000s to win Album of the Year, beating Taylor Swift's record for Fearless. But the Grammys was also a chance to give tribute to basketball legend Kobe Bryant. The awards show kicked off with a heartfelt tribute led by multi-Grammy Award winner Alicia Keys and Boyz II Men. R&B singer Lizzo also sang a medley from her album "'Cause I Love You". A spotlight was also kept shining on Kobe's jersey up in the rafters to honor his legacy. Now, the awards show took place at the Staples Center in Los Angeles, the home of the LA Lakers. Meanwhile, in Valenzuela City, Kobe fans flocked to the Black Mamba-inspired convention center, which was supposed to be a surprise for the GOAT himself. Lino Livario will tell us all about that.
It's a devastating day for fans of NBA basketball star Kobe Bryant. As one by one, they dropped their final hymn of thanks at the Karuhatan Convention Center. The House of Kobe in Valenzuela City had just opened, a day before the death of the legend for which it was dedicated to.
Ang alam po namin is this year yata or next year, i-invite si Kobe. And then nalaman namin kaninang umaga na yun nga, nangyari kay Kobe. Ayun, nakakalungkot lang kasi ako, fan ako ni Kobe since nung bago ako maglaro ng basketball.
It's been a year since they started the reconstruction of the gym, which used to just be made of cement. On January 27, 2019, former Lakers forward Lamar Odom even marked his hands on the facility. The Lakers-inspired court houses special memorabilia of the Black Mamba, including 3 Kobe paintings, 1 in the entrance and 2 in the court, as well as snakeskin handrails in the staircase.
Nung ginuguhit ko siya, siyempre nung buhay pa siya, parang na-drawing ko isang legend. Malaking karangalan po, tapos ngayon wala na nga siya.
But for these Valenzuelanos, Kobe's legacy will live on. Perhaps even greater than his big baskets and clutch moments, they will continue to draw inspiration from the Mamba mentality.
Nararamdaman namin lahat yung pagod dahil sa nangyari ng balita. Pero ganun pa man, dahil nandyan po ang court ng House of Kobe, hindi naman mawawala sa puso namin Valenzuelano ang pagiging legend o isa sa pinakamagaling na basketballista ng Lakers.
For News 5, Lynn Olivario, we are One News.
But of course, tributes kept pouring in for the Black Mamba on Monday, especially in the U.S. as the world mourns his sudden demise. Hundreds of Bryant's fans gathered outside a Staples Center in downtown Los Angeles to remember the life and legacy of the one and only Kobe. His face was shown on all of the LED screens in what is considered as his second home. Fans have brought all sorts of Mamba memorabilia, including pictures, posters, and shirts.
He was the mayor of LA to me. And so, you know, like a lot of people are saying, today's the day that part of LA died. And it's been a tough day. And I know I'm going to shed a lot of tears in days to come.
The NBA also paid homage to Kobe in a scheduled game just hours after his tragic death. The Toronto Raptors and the San Antonio Spurs dedicated 2 intentional 24-second shot clock violations as a nod to Bryant's longtime jersey number. At first, the crowd was puzzled at the seemingly frozen stance of the players, but they soon recognized the amazing feat that was happening and cheered for both teams. California authorities believe that bad weather conditions played a big part in the chopper crash that killed Kobe and several others. Now, prior to the incident, weather forecasters reported low clouds and limited visibility in the vicinity at the time of the crash. Various eyewitnesses also recounted thick fog over the foothills where the helicopter went down. LA Sheriff Alex Villanueva says even police helicopters were grounded at the time because of the fog.
We do know there was an issue of visibility and a low ceiling. The actual conditions at the time of impact, that is still yet to be determined, and we'll have that with the NTSB shortly.
Now, apart from the Bryants, 7 others perished from the accident, including Orange Coast College baseball coach of 27 years, John Altobelli. He was also with his wife and daughter, a basketball teammate of Bryant's 13-year-old daughter, Gianna. And that's how today is shaping up to be. Join us again next time for another round of Rush. I'm Riza Diaz. We are One News.